So welcome back. So we are doing some transformations. I think you had the network issues, right, Michael? Michael, are you there? You had network issues, right, Michael? So we are doing some transformations. So we are on this second question now. I think third question now. Group the viewers by directors. So as I was explaining, I said this is the director and these are the viewers. So we want to group these viewers by using the director. So meaning here we have Tim Van Patten. The viewers here is 2.2 million. You know, we've been told that US viewers is in millions. So all these small numbers are in millions. Brian Kirk, we have 2.4. So for Tim Patten now, it has 2.2. Another Tim Van Patten has 2.2. If you want to group this guy now, it will be what? I would write just Tim Van Patten and his total will be what? 2.2 plus what? 2.2. That's like 4.4. If there's any other Tim Van Patten, is there any other one? No. So for this one, it's done. All right. That's how group by works. So so all I need to do is just right click. It's either I right click and then says group by, or I can also come to transform. Where is it in transform now? So I can also come to transform, and here you see group by. All right. So, but it's easier to come here and say group by. So to come up with a dialog box and say, okay, you want to group the director. What do you want to name this new guy? I want to make it DIR group, DIR group, right? Now, what is the operation I want to perform? A sum operation on the US viewers. So instantly, immediately I click OK. Wow. So you can see that Tim Van Patten has been summarized. This guy. So this is an example of a group by, and that's how it can be used, right? So the next question says, where is it? Do a count of the directors. Wow. So we want to know how many of, so we have to come back here. But here now we've done a group by, we can't do a count. So what can I do? I can duplicate this guy, right click on the table and then come to duplicate, right? Double click on this. Let's name it DIR, for example. All right, come back to my episode. I can now delete this step so that I can have my full table back. This guy already have that step that I just made, right? Come to episode and then I want to do a count of the director, right? I click on director, the same group by, but in this case, now instead of using sum, I will use count. So group by, right? Director, let's say I want to put it a count. Let's just make it capital letter. And then count rows, right? So I don't need to, because I'm counting the same column, I don't need to put another summarization column. Click OK, and it does a count. We have how many of Tim Van Patten? 2. How many of Blinkan? We have 3. How many of these like that? 4, 5 like that. So this is how you apply that to answer that question, right? These are just transformations. Then the next transformation is where viewers is less than 3 million, replace with none, right? So that's great. So we want to say if viewer is less than 3 million, replace it with none. So what do you do in this case? You have to create a conditional column, right? The reason why I'm not running us through the tabs we have in this Power Query because it's almost the same thing with what we have in Power Query in Excel, which I've explained, right? So come here So we've done this one. So I can also duplicate this. Let me duplicate this so that I can answer my question. Let me call this one count. So that I can delete this step here. I can have my full table back, right? So we're told to ensure that when where is it now? So we're going to say, okay, when the viewer is less than 3 million, so replace it with null. So what do you do in this case is a conditional column, right? So come to add column, conditional column. So in this case, we are saying if, what is the column name? US viewers is less than, right? So we pick less than, because the question says if it's less than 3 million, replace with null. So if US million is less than what? Is less than 3. But you know, million is not written here. So we just say if it is less than 3, what should that return? Return null. So we can write it here, right? So we click OK. Okay. So we have to then, you can see that this guy is also returning null. So we have to now say if it's greater, then return US viewers, right? So we have to edit this formula so that it will carry, instead of showing null here, it will show us 3.04, 3.86. So how do we edit our formula? I told us there is a setting button here. You double click it and it takes you back to your formula. So this guy is right now. So the next thing is just for us to add plus, that if that same guy is now greater than, right, 3, right, greater than or equal to 3, then return what? Now we are not picking a value, we want to pick a column, right? So we have to change this from enter a value to what? Select a column. So we want to select that same column again, this guy. So we are saying if it is greater or equal to 3, select that same column back. So you can see now that has collected a formula, and then where we have less than 3, it's written them null, and where we have 3 or greater, we have this guy. So I think that is clear enough. Is that clear? Michael, you shouldn't have problem with all this. Michael, are you there? Are you there, Michael? Can you hear me? So that is that about that. So let's go to the next question. So append the episode on each other. So for that we come here now. So so what we need to do is name this, let's say episode 1, and then let me duplicate this and call it episode 2. I don't want that to that with episode 2. So what the question is saying is that appending query means you just put it under another. So for example, this guy is 67 rows. This guy is also 67 rows because it's just the same thing. Now appending is saying add them together, add this appending episode 2 under episode 1, and that will increase the number of rows to like that's 67 plus 67, and that is 134. So how do I append those? Click on this first one, come to home, and then come to append queries. To ask you, are you appending 2 tables, just 2 tables? Yes. 3 or more tables, you click this, right? But it's just 2 tables, right? Table to append. I want to append episode 2. Remember that I've clicked on episode 1 before, so I just need to do episode 2, and then I will click OK. Instantly, you can see that the number of rows are increased to what? 134. I've been able to append those 2 tables together. So I can rename this as what? Appended. All right, that solves that. So we've been able to answer all the questions given to us. All right, so now I guess tomorrow, right, I will give us some set of questions to do as an assignment against tomorrow. All right, so that we can attempt it. All right, or maybe after tomorrow I will do that so that we don't get too jam-packed. So we've been able to do some transformations based on our 7 pillars. We've done extract and we've done transform. So tomorrow we still do a lot more. So we'll look at this CSV file that I opened the other time. All right, and then we look at how to connect with the SQL. So I hope you're able to pick something tonight. All right, so tomorrow again we meet and we continue. So in this junction, do have a nice night. Thank you.